Hello everybody, my name's Kimberly and this is Off-Road Reactions. Today I'm reacting to a video from All for Adventure and it's called 4x4 Recovery Goes Seriously Wrong Part 2, What Happens Next? So those of you who watch this channel often will know that I'm kind of really against this current crop of what I call the Rip Tear Bus Brigade, who are out there trying to sell products and try and get subscribers on their YouTube channel. And they're doing the kinds of things that make really, really exciting content for people who don't really know too much about four-wheel driving, or who are more interested in the spectacular than the safe. And there's been a lot of criticism, not just from me, but from others about that. So that being said, I'm going to try and analyze this video as best I can without being too hard on these guys. What my goal is here is to not criticize people or channels, even though I'm really against the content. What my goal is to try to teach people what is the correct thing to do. So when you see this content, you can analyze it from a critical standpoint and go, you know what, that was a silly thing they did. And understand that they're doing it in order to make what I call clickbait content, so they can sell stuff. I've just played the first couple of seconds of this, so I'm going to play it for you to show you what I mean. Now, nothing against these companies here at all, but if I were them, I'd be saying, you know what, I don't want to sponsor this type of content. Sorry. But unfortunately, they probably do want to sponsor this type of content. Anyway, all of that said, and I know I'm going to get a whole bunch of negative comments down below. Go for your life. Don't care. Let's go.
Simon and I are crossing back over these tidal flats to join Rhett and his family at the Rella Springs homestead.
Okay, so first of all, he's saying this is a tidal flat. It may be, it may not be. Lots of times in this part of the world, these flats are tidal. Sometimes they are just evaporative, so water that runs off the countryside evaporates, and it has a high level of salt anyway. So this is a Lorella, so this is up in a Gulf country. It probably is tidal. Now, I don't know this particular patch of ground very well, but I wonder if there's a track around this. And if there is, that's the way I would be going. Certainly the case with the videos I've seen from these people and others of the Simpson Desert, there's usually a track around. So you want to really think very, very carefully before you cross something like this. And you certainly don't want to be going really fast. You want to be moving forwards. There's a real skill to driving in this kind of boggy stuff. I've been in, second gear low range or first gear low range and just crawling while I'm moving. I'm happy, but going fast can bring you unstuck really quickly. But anyway, don't know exactly where they are. Might not be a track around this. So let's see what happens.
6 hours away from this remote spot near the Gulf.
So makes great video, right? But don't go doing that. That's how you roll vehicles over. As you see, the ground was pretty hard. He could have gone through much slower than that.
Simon's in fine spirits. We've crossed here several times today without incident, so I'm confident as I follow him. Right about now, though, I'm wondering why the cameraman is madly waving at me from the sideline as I drive over. Turns out he wasn't rolling his camera, and he's not happy.
Wasn't recording. Who said go?
I'm going to have to go back so he can get the shot.
Okay, so here we go. This is what it's all about, right? So again, I don't want to be too critical of these people. They're doing a job. It's just I don't like the particular job that they do, which really highlights, if you like, the less safe ways to drive four-wheel drives, the less respectful ways in terms of country and so on. Makes a really, really exciting video. but that's all it's about. All right, so if you want to learn how to do this stuff, this is not the channel. If you want to watch exciting content, sure, go for your life.
But on the way over, this happens. I've broken through the sand crust into the mud. We're in trouble, and we don't realise just how much. We back up Simon's truck and dig it into the sand to anchor it so he can winch me out.
I only just made that one, eh? Holy shit.
This is really good. These guys are doing the right things here, so well done. There's a hierarchy of recovery, okay, and part of it's been missed, but that's okay. We're down a step now. So the hierarchy of recovery is this. First of all, you want to do vehicle and track preparation to avoid getting bogged in the first place. And it looks to me like there is very much a road around this, not a road, but a dry way to get around this clay pan. So that would be step one. Let's not go into the bog in the first place. But of course, that doesn't make great video content, right? And then the hierarchy of recovery is there's recovery boards and shovels and that kind of thing first, which most people don't reach for. Second is a winch. Now they're going to use both together, and that's fine. The problem with winching in this situation is that vehicle is quite stuck. The vehicle that's up the other end of the winch rope, the one that's doing the winching, is going to move. And that's why they tried to dig it in. Now, there's something else they could have done if they had more vehicles, and I suspect they do because I think they have a camera vehicle as well, is they could put multiple vehicles together, you know, put them in low range, in gear, handbrakes on, driver in there with a foot brake on, and just winch from a combination of vehicles rather than a single vehicle. I suspect they got more vehicles, but anyway, let's just watch. The point I'm trying to make is avoid the bog in the first place. If you do get bogged, then recovery boards and shovels first, winch is next, because you're trying to go from the safest method and stay away from the more dangerous methods like snatch.
When's the tide coming in?
Now here's where the bad luck starts to pile up. Simon's truck has compromised brakes, so the winch is just dragging him towards me instead of pulling me free of the mud.
Yeah, no, that's exactly what I was talking about, and it happens. Now, the other thing is typically, and this is especially important with steel winch ropes, you don't drive the vehicle and winch at the same time if you can avoid it. Now, with a synthetic rope, it's okay, but if you've got a steel rope, try not to do that. You can make a whole big mess of your winch.
Yeah, no dramas, but
Simon can't just hold himself in place with reverse gear and low range because he needs the engine to power the winch. Otherwise, he'll run the battery flat in minutes.
And that's exactly true. Electric winches, you need the engine running, and also you can't winch for very long. The duty cycle on these winches is quite short. So, you do a minute of running the winch, you're going to rest it for half a minute. Now, I did notice that there's a tree way behind him. Now, that's what I would be using. And when you have a winch, what you need to have is multiple extension straps. And you drive your car back to that tree, or run the extension straps from the tree to the back of your car, and then winch from where he is right now. So this is why when you have multiple vehicles in a convoy, everybody has their own recovery equipment, and between all of you can assemble it together. So now if each vehicle here had a winch extension strap, and I typically carry more than one, we would have, I'm trying to remember how long they are. I think they're 30 meters. So, we would have about 90 meters of strap. That should be able to reach that tree. I think there's 3 vehicles here. I'm not absolutely certain. So that's the best option. Anchor the car to a tree or anchor it to another car or whatever. But yeah, this is not going to work the way it is right now.
We need another plan, and quick.
we've got to get out of those tracks.
So I grab the snatch straps and double them up so Simon can stay well clear of the mud as he pulls me free. It's the fastest option and time is of the essence.
Yeah, so if time is of the essence, and I actually doubt that this is tidal. It could be. I have never crossed this clay pan at Lorella, I have to say. Been to Lorella, but I've never crossed this clay pan, typically because I don't go fishing there. If it's king tides, then they are in trouble in terms of tide, but if it's not king tides, maybe they aren't. Maybe they're uncertain and they're just, scared that might be the eventuality. But you notice where that car backed down, that there's a great big tree there. And it was even closer than the tree I saw before. So in terms of safety, I'd be anchoring myself to that tree and I would be winching. Again, don't take this as just, criticism of these guys. They've got content to produce and this is exciting content, and they may well be creating this scenario in terms of let's do this recovery like this rather than boring attach our truck to the tree. But the boring attach our truck to the tree piece is the best option. Maybe they don't have they got snatch straps, so they could use those. Anyway, you get the drift.
So you start your wheel spinning, you say, okay, I'm spinning, and then I'm going to go.
All right.
This place is treacherous. Once you break through that top 10 centimetres of sand, it's bottomless mud beneath. And that salt water is starting to come up to the bottom of my doors.
Just level it all. I thought it was already that high. Now, a couple of things as well. Always carry multiple snatch straps. So there's 2 vehicles here and we've only got 2 snatch straps out. I seriously doubt that they've only got 2 snatch straps. So why do I say that? It's because if you come back here and you have a look where this vehicle is, it's really, that's not even where it is. Yeah, it's really potentially going to bog there. I don't know how rough this terrain is over in front of it. It might not be possible to go into there, but if it was, I'd be driving into there, making a bit of a compacted track and pulling from that spot where the grass is. But as I said before, there appear to be some trees here, and they're not that far away. I'd be using extensions to winch from that tree. Yeah, I'm winching slightly sideways, but that's okay. We could get away with that angle without too much drama. We can always pull a bit, let the rope out again, pull a bit, let the rope out again, so that we don't bind the cable up on one side of the winch.
Bottomless mud beneath. And that salt water is starting to come up to the bottom of my doors.
Start spinning.
Okay, so he's done a really nice kind of a snatch strap recovery there. He's done the standard 2 meter run up, which is exactly what you've got to do. If I had any criticisms to make, and it's not really, again, criticisms about how would you do this so that you're safe, my recommendation would be to attach dampers to these snatch straps, 2 if you've got them. Okay, now they might not have any, so you can drop a towel over there, you can do whatever you like, but anything to try and keep these straps low should they break. Now the other thing, this is always a bit of a point of contention because people go like, oh, what a lot of mucking around, right? But what I'm about to say is this: you're supposed to be doing a 2 meter run up. That's really hard to judge as a driver. You need a person out of the car to tell you what the 2 meters is. So the way that I recommend you do this is, if you don't recover the vehicle in the first pull, you then remove the strap from the hitch here on the recovering vehicle, and you paste the 2 meters out and you drop the strap where it's supposed to, where the tow ball's got, not the tow ball, the tow hitch has got to come to, and you back up to that spot, reconnect your strap. Right? A lot of people say, oh, what a lot of mucking around. But seriously, you need to control that energy, and the way to control it is have a 2 meter run up. It's ideal not to be backing over your strap, and guessing the 2 meters also can damage the strap by getting it caught up under the car. Now, I understand. I was going to say, oh, what a lot of rigmarole. Got it, but hey, this is about being safe. The other thing is, if you don't move this car with a couple of pulls, just stop. You're not going to move it. One other thing I'd like to say, there's some equipment over here, trailers or something in the way. It would be ideal if they were moved, because you'd have a straighter pull. And this is something that you also have to think about when you're actually doing a crossing like this. If you are going to do a crossing like this, and I could be wrong here, but I think I see a shore way over the other side here, so I wouldn't be doing the crossing. Could be wrong, there might be a creek there. Try to aim your car away from things like this that are going to make it impossible to recover you. A really good example of that is never run parallel to the surf on a beach. Really, when you're close to the water, okay? So not so bad when you're further away, but if you get down in the boggy stuff right next to the water and you're running parallel with the edge of the water, it's impossible for someone else to recover you.
Go again.
The other thing to note is he's off the board, so this is a point in time. Again, the reason that I say disconnect the strap and go again is you stop and you reassess. Don't just go pulling and pulling and pulling and pulling, because you're not seeing things. You need to get out and have a look at things. Yeah, I know it's muddy, I'm going to get dirty, but you can see he's no longer on the recovery boards, and it might be useful if he was. So again, this is not intended to say these guys are silly or stupid or anything like that. I'm analyzing this from the point of view of what's the safest way to do this.
All right, you ready?
Ready to go. So here's where things start to really go pear-shaped.
Now what's going to happen is the vehicle that's doing the recovering is going to get bogged. And again, I'm not saying I'm perfect at this. I've been in this situation. I've had 5 snatch straps hooked together at Lake Caroline out in the Simpson Desert, because I said to people, I think I can go this way, let's go this way, but just wait here on the dry ground and I'll have a go. I had a go, I got stuck, we couldn't get a winch to me, couldn't do anything else but snatch the car out. But I needed the people to be on the dry ground. I instructed them to stay on the road, and they didn't stay on the road. They then got bogged, so we had 2 vehicles bogged, one at each end of 5 fully energized snatch straps. That's a pretty scary thing to deal with. So yeah, I'm not perfect. I'm not claiming to be. I'm just trying to help you understand what's safe.
Now we're
You stuck too?
Yep.
So again, this is why it would be ideal if you had more straps, and if this ground up here where the grass is, if that were usable, that would be a better outcome. So a lot of times when you're thinking about crossing things like this, you need to think about, if I get bogged, how are we going to do this recovery?
Yeah, we're getting out. Not good having the other car bogged, but
We start the recovery on Simon's truck, but it's worse than we realise.
the tide's just turned. Holy shit.
We've only got 10, 15 minutes tops until I'm underwater.
Shit.
Okay, so there you go. It is tidal. Look at that. It's definitely tidal.
We're getting it.
Yeah, I know.
You know, which comes to the other point here, and again, I'm not being critical of these guys. I'm trying to tell you what you might want to do to stay safer. Try to plan your travel so that you're not going to be impacted by a rising tide. That might be really hard to do if you are going there for fishing, which I imagine these guys were.
Okay, so first we have to winch out Simon.
Now what might be useful here is to have winch extension straps from the back of this vehicle to the front of the other, or back of the other one, and winch the two of them towards that tree. That might be something that would work. And that's probably what I would try to do at this point in time, or what I'd said before, use the tree in the first place.
Just hold it there. You want to unhook the winch? I'll keep digging this.
Now back to the original recovery. We add another strap to get Simon well away from the mud, right up here on the grass where the ground is harder.
Which is what they should have done in the first place, right?
We've lost valuable time, but we're confident this approach will get my truck out as long as Simon can maintain traction.
Okay, so here's what I would be saying about this. They're finally doing what they probably should have done in the beginning, except they're choosing the least safe option. All right, so let's go back to the hierarchy of recovery. What would be the most safe option apart from recovery boards alone, which isn't going to work for them? The most safe option would be to somehow use this tree as an anchor. We're either going to put the snatch straps, or better still, winch extension straps between this tow hitch and the other tow hitch, and we're going to winch the two vehicles using that tree, just like we did with the one vehicle. All right, and we might want to use a double line pull in that case, if we've got enough rope, because it's going to be a much heavier load. That would be far, far, far safer than snatch straps. So that's what I want you to understand here about this hierarchy of recovery. Don't go using dangerous methods. The reason I think that they're using this method now is because they're in a hurry. But to be honest with you, if it doesn't work, it's going to be slower.
The tide is really cranking in now. Check out what my dash camera was recording while we are getting Simon's truck out. It's a race against time. I'm ready to go. It's working. Come on, baby. Come on.
Come on, baby, come on.
Then it happens.
Holy shit! Holy
My heart is racing.
That's really unfortunate. That's really, really unfortunate. Now, what went wrong there is the angle of the pull. I think he didn't want to go up on the grass, which is fair enough. As I said, it probably wasn't really good up there, but I would have wanted to kind of make a track there so that I know that I was going to be safe, rather than pull at that side angle. Now, the side angle alone wasn't enough to do this. What happened was, he, at the very same time as he put a huge sideways load on the car, his wheels went over high ground and put him on an angle. And then the soft ground under the right-hand side of the car gave way. So it's like a Swiss cheese model here. So, just really unfortunate set of circumstances. And they're in a lot of trouble now.
Just want to know if Simon is all right.
But again, this points to why the winch is a better option, because it's not that dynamic kind of changing circumstance. It's fairly static.
I just hope Simon isn't injured.
That wasn't good, was it?
Holy shit.
Couldn't be
Oh
happy
my
with
God, man, oh my God!
that. Yeah, we're now. Now we're
Nah, winch. Come on, man, winch.
Get out. This is messed up right here. Oh, for venture my ass.
This little tree out by itself is our only hope at the moment.
Oh, put it back.
It was actually your only hope right from the beginning. All right, I'm going to leave it there. Like I say, what I'm trying to do here, as much as I dislike these kind of rip, tear, bust videos, is I'm not trying to be just critical of these guys. We've all been in this circumstances where we're trying really hard to do stuff in a short amount of time. That's when the problems happen. That's when the accidents happen. And all I want to say is use your hierarchy of recovery. The winch was always the best option here. It was always the best option. Unfortunately, they were in a bit of a rush and they didn't think it through, I don't think. I could be wrong, but if you'd have thought it through, you would have used the winch right from the beginning and it would have been out quite a while ago. If you want to watch this video, I'll leave the link in the description, and please be safe doing four-wheel drive recoveries. They're extremely, extremely dangerous things to do. Your best option is to not get stuck in the first place. Yep, I get it. It doesn't make exciting YouTube content, but hey, it teaches people how to do the right thing if you put this stuff on video showing you doing it the right way.